Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to show you various different features and functions of Apple devices. Now some of you will learn a lot, some of you will learn a little, some of you might not learn anything at all if you already know a lot about the Apple devices, but hopefully this video will have something for everybody. Now in it, not everything you see will work on every single Apple device depending on the age, but hopefully some of them will work for you. So I want you to sit back and enjoy the rest of the video. If you lose your phone and it's found by an honest person, then they can get it back to you as long as you've set it up before you lose it. So if you watch this now, let's pretend now that this phone has been found by someone else. Obviously they haven't got the fingerprint and they haven't got the PIN number to get into the phone. So I'm just going to use my knuckle. Whose phone is this?
I believe this iPhone belongs to my mate Vince.
So you can see I activated Siri and then it's come up with this, and then they can contact me with the number here. And it will start dialing. Right, okay, so to set that up, you go to Settings, go down to Contacts, and then under My Info, you will fill in your contact details. We all know you can download various different QR code reader apps from the App Store, but now you don't need to because it's already built into your camera. So once you find your QR code that you want to look at, you just need to point your camera at it and it will bring you straight to whatever it is it's pointing to. So if we open up the camera app and then just point it at the QR code, it will now bring this up here. You see a little notification telling you what it's going to open. Tap on it and then it will bring you straight into the website. This next option is not supported by Apple, so obviously do this one at your own risk. If you would like to see the field menu on your Apple phone, you need to enter a certain number into the keypad. So if you have a look at that number there. Now this would be used by telecommunication engineers, and it will bring up the field test. If we were to go to serve and cell measurement, then for example the measured RSSI, that would be the received signal strength indicator, can guide you to how strong the signal is. So if you're thinking, which part of the house has a better signal, then it might give you a more accurate measure than using the little bars at the top of the phone. To get out of it again, just go to home and it's gone. If you were typing out a very long message and you need to change something up here, rather than tapping it and hoping that you get it in the right place, if your Apple device has 3D touch, you can use the trackpad on the keyboard. So with the keyboard down here, just press down a little bit harder until 3D touch is enabled, and now you can see when I move it around, you can see I'm actually moving around the cursor. Yeah? And now I can go to the exact place I need to go and I can change it. To redial the last number on your phone, you just need to go into the phone app, you need to make sure you're on the keypad, and then you need to tap the green button, and that will bring up the last number that you dialed. When you're on the internet browsing, to save you a little bit of time, when you're typing in your web address, you can press and hold the full stop, and then you can choose the ending of that web address, for example .co.uk, .net, .com, etc. So for example, if I was to go to Argos, then what I can do is I can press and hold the full stop, and then I can move it to whichever one I want it to end in, for example .co.uk, and press go, and then it will just save you a split second. Your device does not need to have 3D touch to enable you to do this. If you would like to record your screen, you can do. So you need to go to Settings, and you need to go to where it says Control Center, and then you need to go to Customize Controls, and you need to go to Screen Recording. That will now add screen recording to the Control Center. So now to access it, we just have to swipe up, and then we have a new icon here, which is a little record button. When we tap that, it's going to count down from 3, and then it's going to start recording. So let's do some gameplay. There you go, 3, 2, go to here, go to resume, and now it's going to record everything that the screen does, including sounds. Right, okay, and then to get out of it, we go home, we're just going to tap the red bar up the top, stop, and now that will be saved to our photos. If you want to see that, this is what we've just done. So it might be a useful feature if you want to record, for example, Fortnite or something like that, to show off to your friends. If you find that your iPhone or your iPod is running a little bit slow, then you can close down the apps that are running in the background, and you don't have to do it one by one. You can swipe away 2 of them or 3 of them at the same time. So double tap the home button and it will show you the available apps that are open, And then what we can do is, if we want to use 3 fingers, we can do just 3 fingers, swipe them all away, and that's all 3 gone at once. And it's a little bit quicker than having to do one at a time if you have, for example, 20 or 30 open. If you would like to reset the RAM on your phone, so for example clear the memory, you need to hold down the power button until the slide to power off comes up on the screen, and then you need to press and hold the home button. And there you go. Once it goes back to this bit here, the memory has now been cleared, and you might find that your phone runs a little bit quicker. When using the calculator, if you make a mistake, you don't have to delete the whole line of digits by pressing C. What you can do is, you can just swipe to the left or the right on the line of digits, and then it will just delete the last one that you've done. If you want more functions, what you can do is, put your Apple device on its side, and then you will see that more functions will be displayed. If you are colourblind and you want to make the screen easier to see, or if you just want to play around with the colours off the screen, perhaps make it black and white to make it look more vintage, then you need to go to Settings, General, you need to find Accessibility, then you need to go to Display Accommodations, then you need to go to Colour Filters, and here you can choose, so turn that on there, and you can, for example, change it to whatever suits your needs. Let's put it onto grayscale, see what that looks like. And that will now make it black and white. Some people say that this saves the battery, but realistically with the battery you're better off just putting low power mode on. To turn it off, just go to there, and then you're back to normal again. If you like recording on your iPhone, then see if you have the option to use 60 frames per second. When you're filming fast moving objects, 60 frames per second looks a lot better than 30 frames per second. So go into Settings, and then go down to where it says Camera, and then you see here 1080p at 30 frames a second. So I'm going to change that to 60. The downside is that you will use more storage because the file sizes will be bigger. When we're using the internet, if we want to go back a page, we can just go from left to right and it will go back, and to go forward from right to left. Or we can just use these arrows down here. If you can't see the arrows, all you have to do is just scroll like that and then they will reappear. But what happens now if we've accidentally closed down the page and we want to get to the tabs that we've closed? Well, that's okay, because all we've got to do is, let's just get rid of this. All we've got to do is go to that one there and then press and hold the plus button. And it will bring up recently closed tabs, and then we can go back into whatever we recently had open. If you would like to view a desktop version off a website, then Safari makes it very easy to do. Go into Safari and you need to get the address bar up. And then if you have a look, you can see a refresh or a reload button. We need to press and hold that, and then it will bring up Request Desktop Site down the bottom. When we press that, it will bring up the desktop version off the website. If you would like a wired connection for your internet, then you can actually use Ethernet cables, but you will need to use adapters in order to get them to work. So you will need a Lightning to USB 3 camera adapter, and you will also need a USB 2 Ethernet network adapter. It has to be USB 2. So this is how you plug them in. You're going to plug the camera adapter into here and you need to power it. Then you're going to plug the USB Ethernet adapter into the camera adapter, and then you plug the network cable into here. At the moment you can see the lights are flashing here, and if you have a look, I've got it in aeroplane mode, but yet it will still work. So if I was to go to, for example, BBC Sport, you can see that it is now working. Now, let me show you it on the iPad. It will also work on the iPod as well. So we're going to plug it into the iPad and we're going to do a quick speed test. Right, so I'm going to put it into aeroplane mode. So now it can't use the Wi-Fi. Do the speed test. See the lights are on there. And I'm just going to fast forward through to the end result. So we've got a 68 megabits per second download and a 20 megabits per second upload, but the main thing is that often on a wired connection it will be more stable and you might well have lower ping as well. If you're browsing the internet and you keep scrolling down a long web page, rather than having to go all the way back up each time, what you can do is you can just double tap up the top and it will bring you back up again. This will also work for other apps as well. So for example, if you were to go to YouTube, then you can just tap it once and it will bring you back. So let's say if you've scrolled all the way down, instead of having to go all the way back up, just tap the top and then it will bring you back up. If you would like to mirror your device onto the big screen, then you can do. You can buy yourself a Lightning digital AV adapter from Apple. In the UK it costs £49, and what this does is it plugs into the bottom of your Apple device, and then from here you plug in a HDMI cable that goes into your TV. You can also charge up your device as well by using the Lightning connector there, and it works with very little lag. There is a slight bit of delay, but we're talking about in the tens of milliseconds, and it goes up to 1080p as well. So then if you want to watch, for example, Netflix on the big screen, then you can do that. And also, if you want to play games as well, then you might prefer to do it on the big screen. If you want to know if a picture, painting, shelf is level, then you can actually use your phone, and it's more accurate than you might think. So what you need to do is you need to go to Extras, you need to go into the Compass app. To the right, and this will allow you to do various different levels, including flat here. So when you move it around, you see different bubbles around the place. So let's say now if we wanted to do a picture on a wall, so we can do it on the side there, and you can see 0 and it will go to green. Also down the bottom here as well, it will go to green. We also have levels to do this way, so it's quite useful when you haven't got access to a spirit level to be able to use this. Now it's not perfect because remember we've got buttons in the way here, but it just gives you an idea, and it's more accurate than you might think. If you like your mobile gaming but sometimes you'd prefer to have a games console experience, then you can use your mobile phone like a games console by connecting up the Lightning digital AV adapter and also a SteelSeries Nimbus controller or any other MFI controller. This will allow you to kick back on your couch and then play your games on the big screen. Now not every single game will support this. There's a lot of games that do not support the controller, so you need to do your research beforehand. To use the magnifier, we need to go into Settings, General, Accessibility, Magnifier, and turn it on. Now when we want to use it, we have to hit the home button quickly 3 times. So let's pretend now we want to find out the output of this charger. So we're going to go 3 times, and now if you have a look, we have a little slider bar here, so we can zoom out and zoom in, or if you want, you can use the screen like that if it's easier. And then you've got options like flashlight, you can set the focus, and you can also take a snapshot of it so you can stop it yourself from wobbling and then zoom in again using that. If you would like to lock the exposure and focus when you're taking a picture, then instead of just tapping on the screen to focus, you need to tap and hold in the area that you want to lock. So for example now, if I was to tap and hold here, you will see after a couple of seconds the square does that, and then it comes up here with AEAF lock, which stands for auto exposure and auto focus. And now it will allow me to frame the shot while keeping the exposure and the focus locked. This useful feature allows you to use your phone one-handed, so to use reachability you just need to double touch the home button, not tap in on it, just touch it, and then what it will do is it will lower the whole screen so you can get access to the icons up the top without you overstretching your thumb. So for example, double touch, not click but touch, and you can see it all lowers down. Now if we want to go to clock, now for example it will work in here as well. Let's say if we found it hard to get our thumb up here, just double touch, and then for example we can turn the alarm on. Yeah, if you want to go to camera, double touch, camera. So it's just a useful feature to have. If you would like to set up a vibration that you recognise for one of your friends or partner or something, then you can do that, and that way then when your phone's in your pocket you actually know who's ringing you before you've taken it out. So for example now, this is just a made up one here, what you would need to go to is you would need to go to Edit when you're on the contact that you want to adjust, and then you're going to go down to where it says ringtone, tap that, and we want to go to where it says vibration. Now you can choose, some Apple ones, or you can make up your own one. So let's create new vibration, and now we have to tap on here a vibration that we will recognise. So for example, then go to stop, and now if we want to play it back, Obviously you've got longer as well, you can have it double that length. And yeah, then we're going to go to save, and it's going to ask us what to save it as, so let's just make up anything. And then what we would need to do is when we go back to ringtone, now what we can do is just go to done, and now you see under, let's go to done there, under My Mate Vince, the vibration is now that one there. You can connect your PlayStation 4 to your Apple device so you can play it when you're away from home. Now, the app you need is called rPlay. It isn't supported by PlayStation, but it has been out for over a year now, and it's still around now as of when this video is made. So let's show you it working. So right now you can see I'm connected to the PlayStation 4, and it has little on-screen controls there. But these take a little bit of getting used to, so they do work, but it's easier to connect up a controller. So here you go, if I turn on the Steel series here, you will see that it will sync up. I'm using an iPod, it will also work with an iPad and an iPhone as well. And now if you have a look, you can see it moving around up on screen there. Now, as far as lag is concerned, there is lag, but it's not too bad. It depends on the network you're on. So if you're going to use a 5 GHz network, it is going to be playable. And also it helps if you have your PlayStation connected up to an Ethernet cable. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care. Bye now.